All right, I was just checking on my phone to make sure, but it looks like we are live. I'm going to wait just a few moments to let everybody hop on. And I'm going to test a comment really quickly just to make sure that everything's working like it should be. And it looks like it is. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Carol, how have you been? This will be the same content pretty much that we went over last time, Carol. I know you joined in April, so I just wanted to let you know that. But maybe you'll learn something new because I did change up a few things, but not too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and hop right in. So today I'm going to be giving you the website 101. And we're going to make sure that your website is effectively equipped in order to make it work for you. So we don't want you to just have a website that's sitting there not doing anything for you. We want to make sure that it is attracting customers. So I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. If any of you do not know me, my name is Mallory Drum. I actually get married next weekend, so my name will be Mallory Miles after June 4th. So that's kind of weird to think about. But I am the project coordinator here at Ugly Mug Marketing, specifically in the website department. And we do have a giveaway and a special offer today. So the giveaway is if you engage and comment throughout the webinar, whenever I ask questions, you will be entered to win a giveaway. We're going to give away a John Maxwell book that I read recently titled The Self-Aware Leader. I think it's a really great book, and it's a book that once you read it once, you know there's like certain chapters you're going to want to refer back to in different seasons of your life. So I think it's a really good book that applies to your personal life and your work life. Thank you, Carol. And then the special offer we will reveal at the end, but it is valued at $425. So let me know where y'all are joining from. And I'm going to go ahead and hop into the content. Just kidding. I had a question to get y'all engaged. So I want to know, where are you going on vacation this summer? If you have a vacation planned, if not, let me know where you wish you were going. I'm going to the beach, specifically Panama City Beach. And then I also just booked a trip to Broken Bow, Oklahoma. I've never been there before, so I'm pretty excited about that. We're going, it's not really in the summer, I guess. Yeah, it's still the summer. It's Labor Day weekend. We're going to Broken Bow, so I'm super excited about that. If y'all have any suggestions on what to do in Broken Bow, let me know because I've never been. Carol, does MI stand for Michigan? I'm pretty sure it does, but I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of states that start with M, so I feel like those are easy to get confused. We have 3 people in our office that are from Michigan. So, all right. So first we're going to go over 10 questions to ask yourself about your website. Oh, Taylor, you're going to Gulf Shores with Hannah Broom. I know she is so excited to bring Ellie Welly to the beach. She was telling me about everything she has bought for her. So I'm excited to see the pictures of Ellie at the beach. That'll be so much fun. I'm a beach person, so can't go wrong with that. A lot of people get sick of it and like make fun of me because I go every single year, but I just can't get enough of it. So we're going to go through 10 questions to ask yourself about your website. So the first question is just, do you have a website? So if not, a website is a great way to put your information, your product out there and attract new customers. But even if you already have a website, this still applies to you because we're going to go through questions that you can ask yourself about your website to make sure that it is effectively working for you. Number 2, is your goal the focus of your site? Do your visitors know what you want them to do? So whenever visitors get to your site, it should be very clear what you want them to do. So your website should have a very clear call to action. If you want them to call you, then that should be at the very top of your website. If you want them to apply for a job, then there should be an apply now button at the top. So you want to make it crystal clear what you want your visitors to do once they get to your website to make sure that you're achieving your goals. And third, you want to make sure that your site captures leads. So what that means is whenever somebody goes to your website, whether they make a purchase or not, you want to get their information so you can market to them further and you don't lose them as a potential good customer. So these two examples on the left, yeah, it's the left. On the left, there's the subscribe and enjoy 10% off offer, and it prompts them to enter their email address. So once they enter that email, you have that to where you can continue to send them marketing emails to hopefully get them to eventually turn into a customer, even if they didn't purchase something the first time they went to your website. So you really want to make sure that there is some way to turn just viewers into leads. On the right, I have even just a contact form. So contact forms are super important to have on your website because it's an easy way for people to reach out to you and give you their information. And they're not very intimidating. So you can see the length of that form is 5 fields. Anybody can just quickly add their information there, and then that is into your database. Number 4, is there a face above the fold of your website? So you want to relate to your customers and you always want to have a face above the fold if possible. And what above the fold means is before users scroll down the page, there should already be a picture of a person. So kind of like newspapers used to be folded, or I guess they still are, they're just more of a rarity these days, but you want the most capturing image on the top of your website. And typically that's going to be an image with people in it because as humans, we desire to relate. So you want to relate to your customers. In this example, let's say that you're a company trying to hire for new employees. The picture on the left is really pretty and probably would make a really good header image for a website. But if you have the picture on the right where you show 2 people working together, they're in their uniform. So it shows good teamwork, your uniforms. It just shows more of what you are as a company once they get to your website. So try to keep that in mind and go and check if your website has a face above the fold. And if not, then I highly suggest you just make that quick and easy change and see if it's effective for you. And y'all let me know where you're joining from. So I mentioned it earlier, but I'll go ahead and mention it again as more people are hopping on. But if you engage with me today, you'll be entered to win a book by John Maxwell called The Self-Aware Leader that I highly recommend. So y'all go ahead and engage. Let me know where you're joining from, and I want to know where you're going on vacation this summer or where you wish you were going on vacation. Number 5, is there social proof? So we want to make sure there is social proof on your website. And what that means is just that people trust others more than you. So this kind of goes back to the header image as an example of social proof, but taking that a step further, these are 2 examples. So on the left, it is from our Ugly Mug website. We have a list of different clients we have worked with before, and we have case studies on our different projects. So For this one, I believe it was a marketing case study, but we have case studies for our website clients as well. On the right, we have some testimonials that are on the Kudos website, kudoslearn.com, if you want to go check that out. We have some testimonials on the Kudos website showing what their clients say about them. Sometimes this is something that we might think gets overlooked, but really when people are doing product research, they look at reviews. Think about before you purchase something on Amazon. If you're anything like me, you go to the reviews, and if there's a photo review, even better. So social proof really adds a layer of trust to what you were trying to sell, to your product or service. So if people have great things to say about you, add that to your website and see if it leads to more sales, because people really do trust others more than you. All right, you're joining from Maryland. Thank you. We're in Louisiana, so we're pretty far away from you. And you just came back from Puerto Rico. I am very jealous of the Puerto Rico. I was just saying that I'm a big beach person. So, what was your favorite part of Puerto Rico? And Angela, can you clarify? Was that a question? Let me know what you mean by that, and I can try to help you to the best of my ability. All right. The sixth question you want to ask yourself is the design responsive? It's very important that your website responds to the size screen that it's being viewed on. So in both of these examples, you can kind of see that on this example to the left, with that red X on it, you would have to zoom in to see the content because it did not resize for mobile. But the one with the green check mark, you can see that the content is stacked differently, to where you can easily see the content without having to zoom in or scroll side to side. On this other one, you can see that that exact same website shows up correctly whether you're viewing it on a laptop, a desktop, a smartphone, or a tablet. So you just definitely want to make sure that your website is responsive. The seventh question you want to ask yourself is the website secure? So this is an example of showing what it looks like for a website to be secure versus not secure. The way to get your website secure is by having an SSL certificate installed, which can be purchased at pretty much any hosting company. So one that pretty much everybody knows is GoDaddy, but any provider similar to them typically will provide SSL certificates, and that's what adds that S behind HTTPS. So that S stands for secure, and Google is getting more and more strict about blocking websites that do not have an SSL certificate. So on this next slide, you can see this is what it looks like. I'm sure you've run into this issue before if you search for stuff a lot, but you can see your connection is not private. Attackers might be trying to steal your information, so on and so forth. We don't want this to happen, so you want to make sure that you have an SSL certificate installed on your website. Number 8 is the website up to date? So this applies to content and design. You want to make sure that the content on your website, which would be the images, the videos, the text, all of that, you want to make sure that the content is up to date, but you also want to make sure the design is up to date. So whenever the content and design is updated regularly, this adds a layer of trust to viewers. If people go to your website and they can tell that it hasn't been updated in a while, they might not think that you even take your business seriously. They might wonder if you're still open. There's a lot of thoughts that can go through people's heads whenever they are looking at an outdated website. So just keep that in mind. If you were a viewer would you want to purchase something from your own website? Or would you be interested in a service, the service that you provide just from looking at your website? Because for many people, your website will be the first thing that they see whenever they become interested in your product or service. And people do shop around a lot. It's very easy these days to just quickly compare different places. So you just want to make sure that your content and design on your website is up to date. Number 9, is the website easy to navigate? So this is really important, again, that it's easy for your users to get the information they need. So think about your website, and if you weren't familiar with it, how easy would it be for you to make a purchase? Or how easy would it be for you to make a call to your company just from your website? We always say that your website should be a lot, or your homepage of your website should be a lot like an airport terminal. So that's why I use that picture there. But it's very important that it's easy for people to get the information they need when they're on your homepage. So it should be pretty simple. You don't want to have like 20 pages or 20 links on your homepage. You just really want to simplify. And then for people who want more information, they can click on an internal page to find that. But it should be easy for them to find. Ooh, the Bacardi Rum Tour. I've never heard of that. So you'll have to tell me, what does that mean? What is the tour? Is it like on a boat? That's what I would assume, but I'm not sure. So you'll have to let me know more details on that. Number 10 is, does it take a long time to make updates? So it shouldn't take you very long to make updates on your website. There are a lot of website platforms out there that make it a little harder than it should be. But the quicker you are able to make updates in the back end of your website, the more motivated you will be to make those changes. So kind of an example of this is that updating your website can feel a lot like a chore sometimes, which is understandable because we all have a lot of things that we have to do in a short amount of time. But the quicker you can make those updates, the more motivated you will be to continue making them. All right, and so that is the end of the first half of our webinar. We still have 10 more tips to go, but sorry, I was distracted by the comments. I try to make that a goal for this webinar because the last webinar I kept getting distracted by the comments. So I'm going to try not to. Every time that's on my comments, I just want to focus on that. But Angela, yes, you just let me know exactly what you need, and maybe we can set up some time to walk through that together one-on-one. So y'all let me know where you're joining from and where you're going on vacation if you haven't heard me say that yet, because we're going to enter you in to win a giveaway for The Self-Aware Leader by John Maxwell, which is a book. So now we're going to dive into 10 website content tips. So number 1 is to know your website goal. So this is very similar to the first tip in the first section of the webinar, but we really want to reiterate that this is the most important part of your website, is your goal. So whether it's related to design or content, which is what we're talking about now, is content specifically, it is so important that you know your goal. So as you're adding images to your website, you want to think about what your goal is. So if your goal is to sell, I'm just going to make something up. If your goal is to sell purses, you want the person on the header of your website to be wearing one of your purses and to be smiling. You want the person looking at that to desire buying a purse because the person wearing the purse looks so excited about it. So that's kind of a silly example, but you just want to think about your goal every single time you update content on your website. So whether that is copy, images, videos, you want to know your website goal. And if you already have a website, you go ahead and comment, what is the goal of your current website? I'm curious to know. Because there's a lot of goals. There could be more specific goals. You could have more of a broad goal. I'm curious to know what your goal is. All right. Number 2 is to know your audience. Okay, sorry, I fast forwarded. Number 2, know your audience. So this kind of goes into goal or number 1. So first you want to know your goal, but you also want to know your audience. You want to know who you are speaking to. So a website geared towards hiring new employees and a website geared toward selling a service, those are going to look very different. Now you can have a primary and secondary goal, but just kind of keep that in mind, that who you're talking to will really make a difference in what kind of text and images you're putting on your website. So you want to know their level of expertise. So you want to know your audience's level of expertise. You want to know what they want to know. So you want to think, if you were a customer, what would they want to know? And you also want to know their interests. So what are they interested in when they come to your website? So you can really cater to that. I kind of gave this example last time, but their level of expertise. So say that you're on a doctor's website, okay? Unless you're a doctor or you're in the medical field, you probably don't know the medical terminology for anything, but specifically, like, if a doctor wants to show off that they have great technology, maybe that's what they want to say is advanced technology. They're not going to want to list out all of the different machines they have and all of that, because as people that are not in the medical field, we don't know what that means. So you want to really simplify your verbiage on your website depending on your audience's level of expertise. Number 3, once you know your goal, you know your audience, you want to persuade them. So we can persuade them through compelling copy, which is compelling text. We can persuade them through the photos, kind of like I said earlier with the purse example. If you're selling a purse, you want to have somebody on the header image of your website holding a purse and looking really happy while doing so, or maybe doing something really cool. You just want the people looking at your website, honestly, to kind of have like fear of missing out. And then another way to persuade is through reviews and testimonials, which we kind of went over already as well, but it's very important to have reviews on your products and service. So as people are shopping, they can go get that social proof we talked about from the reviews and testimonials. And one thing, as far as the compelling copy goes, you want to tell a story usually about your product and service. So people are more likely to read a story than they are like a super salesy type of paragraph or text. So keep that in mind, to try to tell a story about your product or service. So before, I don't know, client A used our story, used our service, they used to run into these issues. Now that they use our service, they no longer run into these issues and they are able to X, Y, and Z. So you want to tell a story instead of just selling your product or service, if that makes sense. All right, and your goal is to have new customers sign up for your service. Do you have a website already? I'm curious to know that. And if so, you should drop your URL so we can go check it out. Number 4 is to avoid insider language. So this is very similar to what I was just saying as well, but we just want to reiterate that the information on your website should be understandable for the non-specialist. So if you're a doctor, you want not customers, patients. You want your patients to be able to go to your website and understand exactly what you want them to do. If you're a lawyer, most likely other lawyers, for the most part, aren't going to your website. It's going to be clients that need your help and don't have much legal knowledge. So just keep that in mind, that the people who are going to your website probably do not know near as much about your industry as you do. So just try to simplify. And that's kind of a common theme in this webinar, is just to simplify. And I think that's something that we just have to try to keep in mind for everything, is just to simplify. It really doesn't have to be as complex as sometimes we make it seem. And simplicity is more relatable too. Number 5 is to write short, simple sentences. So we have a very fast pace of life. So I'm sure if you're anything like me, you run 100 miles a minute trying to hurry up and get things done. And whenever you're looking on websites, you probably don't, if you see a really long essay type of text, you're probably not going to take the time to read it. So you want to get your point across as quickly as you can in short and simple sentences. So right here we have that the average American reads at a 7th to 9th grade level. So again, you don't want to use like super big words or very lengthy sentences. We just want to simplify. And going off of that point, you want to make the text scannable. So you want people to just be able to skim through your text and get the important information as quickly as possible. So ways to do this on your website is by using bulleted lists, because they're easier for people to just hurry up and scan through. Having more white space on your website makes it less intimidating. So if you have a ton of text within a small area, again, that might be intimidating and drive users away from reading the content, even if it's really good. So just add some white space to make it look less intimidating. Having subheaders and sections makes it more organized and easier for people to find the information that they are looking for. Ooh, laundrybasketdelivery.com. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm excited to look at that right after this. Number 7, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we want to use images as much as possible. So this statistic says that 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual, and visuals are processed 60,000 times faster in the brain than text. So that's a lot faster if you ask me. So anytime we can use an infographic, an image, or even a video to get a point across quicker, then that's even better, and it will probably stick in our customers' brains more. And you want to use real photos. So I know a lot of times it can be tempting to use stock photos on your website or even on your Facebook ads and Facebook account, because they're just so easy and quick to find. But you really want to use real photos when possible. So the photos that I have here at the top, they're real photos versus the 2 at the bottom, which are stock. So I'm just going to kind of explain this a little bit. But so this company, Shelton Energy Solutions, is one of our clients. And let's say that they have a job opening and they post the 2 pictures that are at the bottom. So it has just a stock photo truck that does not have a name on it. And then it has the man, and he doesn't have a name on his shirt or his hard hat. So really, this could be any company. However, if you see that they're hiring and you see their truck, so now you know that they have good equipment. And you can see in the right photo, it might be a little hard because it's in the collage, but you can see Shelton is embroidered on his shirt, and you can see he's even smiling. So it shows that maybe they have a good atmosphere and they are happy with their jobs. So these two examples kind of show the power of using real photos versus stock. And it also just correlates the brand identity to the viewers. So even if they don't apply for that job right away, that logo might stick in their brains. And the next time they see a Shelton truck driving downtown, they'll think about that job opening again. Number 9 is showcase your culture. So we want to showcase our culture on our website and show why it's different than the others. So your culture can attract the right employees and clients. People buy from people who have the same values as them. So even if you want to showcase your culture by just having your core values on your website, you can showcase your culture. If you are like a brick and mortar store, you can showcase your culture by showing a happy employee helping a customer. And in the business world, you can even just show people on your team interacting with each other. If you have a cool office, you can show off your office space. You just really want to showcase your culture on your website. If you want an example of this, our website, uglymugmarketing.com, at the top of our website, as soon as you click on it, there is a B-roll video, and it just kind of shows off our office space, or it shows us interacting with our clients. And that's a good example of showcasing your culture on your website because it attracts clients and employees. And lastly, for this section is to plan for updates on your website. Sorry, I was seeing if I had one more after that. But so number 10, plan for updates. So being organized and making a schedule for your website updates is the best way to ensure that you are going to keep it updated. So maybe there is like one day every week where you, even just an hour a week, you remove any old content from your website, or maybe once a week, you make sure that all job openings are listed and any that have been filled have been taken away. If you have a blog, you can say, okay, I want to make 4 blog posts a month. So once a week, I'm going to post to the blog. Anything on your website that needs to be updated regularly, make a list of that and then decide how often you want to update that. And so that is my last point for the webinar. If y'all have any questions at all, please leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer your question to the best of my ability. But before you go, I do have the website toolkit that is a special offer for the day, and it is valued at $425. So it consists of 13 questions you need to know the answers to, 5 critical questions that every website must answer. You'll get the website customer avatar for you to kind of think about your target audience. And for a bonus, we're giving away a website audit. And that alone is valued at $295. And I know that Miss Carol that's joining us today, we got to do one last time I did this webinar, and I know that I really enjoyed it. So if you want, let me get the link so you can sign up. Just a moment. I'm sorry about that. I was not prepared with the link to share. Just a moment. Bear with me. I'm sorry about that. All right, so I'm about to post the link. Let me know if y'all can see that. I just posted the link in the comments. And so you can click right there. All you have to do is enter a little bit of information, and then you'll be able to It says an error occurred. Can y'all see the link? I'm going to open my phone really quick to see. Okay, perfect. I was just making sure that I was able to see the link. So if you click there, you'll be able to upload the PDFs, which is, again, the 13 questions you need to know the answers to, 5 critical questions that every website must answer, the website customer avatar, and then once you download that, you'll be prompted. You can schedule a free website audit with me where we'll walk through your website together. And thank you, Miss Carol. I'm glad that you joined us again. She said that the toolkit and website review is very helpful. So we did the same webinar last month in April, and I'm going to do the same one in June as well at the end. So it'll be the 4th Wednesday in June. I'm not exactly sure what that date is off the top of my head, but if you have any fellow business owners that you think would enjoy this webinar, let them know to put it on their calendar for the 4th Wednesday in June. I'm going to look at the calendar really quick so I can just tell you. So it will be on June 22nd at 10 a.m. Central Time. So June 22nd. Thank you. What is your name? I'm sorry. It's what is your name? Let me know so I know how to refer to you because I'm excited that you scheduled the audit. So that's all I've got for y'all today. I will go ahead and choose the winner for the giveaway as soon as I hop off, and I'll be back on June 22nd. So if you have any friends or anybody that you think would enjoy this webinar, let me know. And if you have any questions, just comment them below and I can reach out to you, okay? Y'all have a happy Wednesday. Bye, y'all.